work. Frankly, seeing Chicken Fighters in the past games, like even in the last game, I mean, last game was not their most solid performance compared to what we saw against Helber Smash. But in those games, they looked strong. And whereas other teams I might not give the credit, where like people are draft wet, I feel like Chicken are able to. Like they really have been coming on strong. In Spanish, we use a word when a team is strong, which is empilado. You know, you're coming in strong, you're confident, powerful, and that makes your Dota 10 times. I feel like Chicken Fighters empilado right now totally make this work.
Not to be confused with an empanada, which is a very delicious Mexican dish. Or yeah, they're powered up, right? Is essentially what it is. And I think you're right.
I'm glad that's what you said.
You gotta be ready to go with this lineup, because I think it's really execution based. I think you have given yourself the tools to get through this Slark. And I think once Slark is dead, unless it goes 90 or 102 minutes or 104 minutes even, which I mean that never happens to Liquid. I think like we should talk about that because that's like vintage. But if it does go late game, like maybe you have a problem because then you have secondary cores online, like this Lina was last time, like Boxi was especially last game. But for now, it's like Slark, and then that's it. And then you're not really scared of the support duo too much. So we'll see here how they're going to be looking to get on this. It's gonna be tricky, and there's no one checklist of a team fight here, Avo, that is going to always get them the team fight win. It's really going to depend on where the supports are, who you see on the map, what the levels are looking like. You know, it's going to be a difficult one. A lot of flying blind here, flying in the dark.
That is very cute. Hearts for Samael. Love for Samael.
I know I can trust you guys.
I wonder if they'll do that as well when they're playing against, or if they get.
See, first they got to get through the Chicken Fighters, right?
In Chicken Fighters, I'm very happy to see them do well. Like they talked about this. I think a lot of people, based on the results in the last season, they were. I think that's fair. But at the same time, Chicken Fighters, they're no noobs to the tier 2 scene in general. They also have some veteran tier 1 scene. And they've always been. I think these players have proven themselves. That's definitely not in question. Sometimes are they good? Like, are they having a good mental moment? Is this draft? Is this a mix as well? But you know these players.
The battle begins.
The only player I guess might be the least known, perhaps would be Supream. But he was styling on Hippomaniacs for like, particularly as Invoker. And I am so happy we get to cast Supream. He is a beast.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of really great Invoker players here in Western Europe, especially on the tier 2 scene. Stonestormer, of course, formerly of Helber Smashers. Look at this shot from qojqva, actually. Thinking about the mid lane matchup. Already underneath the tower. I don't know if he meant to do this, but with Dragon Slave level 1, he should be able to pick up the CS. Nicely done. Yeah, I think this was on purpose. He wants an early level 2 here versus the Invoker. Oh, but a nice...
I have been known by many names. But my
Dragon's level 1 for securing the range creep as opposed to harassing the Invoker. Also make this big range. Harassment's probably not going to come out. This is also response. Lane though for miCKe. Actually, one thing that Beastmaster is really good for that we didn't really mention is the lane, really against Zero. It's just a solid laner against Clark. And Oracle, he can kill the boars, but it's not as easy, and a good Beastmaster to deal with him as well. And Oracle usually uses a lot of mana. The laning state should be actually quite strong. If they can snowball off this, especially if they deny the Slark, they're not going to get the snowball effectively. Hence the seek in it.
We'll see if they're going to be able to strike out there and accomplish on that, because it's something that Taiga kind of said off the cuff that I think is actually pretty huge and instrumental to Liquid's possible game plan here if they want to go for an earlier win. Thought Era in trouble. They're going to hit him with the root now. A couple of axes thrown on over towards miCKe, but it's not going to stop the first blood in that first stack of women agility stolen. Is that we don't really have great recovery mechanisms. He compared it to last game with a TI10. Those guys can farm in the jungle forever, right? And they'll come out going even with some of the best farmers in the game. That's not the case here, right? With a Faceless Void or with an Invoker especially. So that's going to be possibly a big concern. So if we can get a really great start here for Liquid as well, that could put Chicken Fighters in a very difficult position.
Taiga's a tether, but he's hoping along the way. Fine. In the top lane, something Liquid tends to do, which I love as well, is that when you have
tower is under attack.
The lane is not as strong. The mid team looks pretty good lane. You go and bait them to see if they are going to overextend, trying to look for the kill, and indeed Era did. And then you know that you have killed, but Oracle Sark is not a bad lane. And it tends to happen, we see this a lot with other lanes, like say Magnus Lina is also very similar, or Magnus Lardar. Any lanes with stuns. In fact, there was a big point where the, that actually we saw in the major, Boxi, sorry, fighting the bot lane. Charlie, they're gonna get the stun here. Charlie dies back to time block, he's gonna see himself very far though for Boxi. The Splitter Blast will kill off Boxi. And Io gave him a lot of chances, but unfortunately he dies. With the creep wave pushing near his tower, hopefully not too many died before he...
Yeah, that's a pretty big win for Chicken Fighters. Like it's just a kill in the off lane, sure, but like this combo, like this lane is not meant to lose. You don't pick Wisp as a position 4, you know, and lane him with the Slardar with you know, obviously an attack-based passive to then die first, right, in this match. You want to at least trade him away, and the fact that they're not able to do that is not very. It's not a great sign, but it gets stronger, right? There's still plenty more opportunities. But it's like losing first blood with like a Tusk and a Slardar lane. It's like, ooh, we didn't really draft this lane to do this, so hopefully they can recover that soon.
Yeah, is the overzealousness sometimes in the fact that having kill potential in a lane matters so much. I was not expecting the Void and Winterwire to be able to do this, but 1 or 2 lucky time blocks, and of course a good usage there of the time block. It's something that you talk to a couple of carries nowadays, and many like pro level tier 1 carries, I'll tell you Void is just great because of the time block. Not even like that's what they love about it, you know, especially with the Shard and the Axe. The Axe, she has really good core-to-core matchup, even when the Chrono's on cooldown. Because he has a stun, he has heal, he has backtrack, which is technically another source of killing, really, better than evasion. Like, it's amazing. Really, really solid. And the hope, that's what I'm thinking Chicken Fight is just hoping for. Get to a point where, even though Slark is stealing essence, Void just bursts you down and win with that time block strats. As long as you don't get the...
Yep. Good to me. Top lane, by the way, it's something I really want to comment on, is how iNSaNiA is laning here. He's going for the very, very standard Oracle build, of course. Maxing Flames is making way a bit.
Thanks for that.
But Oracle is one of the best lane supports, actually, versus Beastmaster. Because although it sucks to have to use all of your magic damage against boars, it does really weaken the Beastmaster's normal, like, big power spike. Right, he's back after the Ags were nerfed. He's back to just playing around boars, mostly in lane, and Oracle's doing a great job of taking bottom of the tank.
But this is a lane matchup that Xibbe not really playing. No, if Oracle goes a bit too far, he's not a hero with any save, so he dies. So if you can see Xibbe's positioning with the boars, he can't play a free lane, but like I said, a good Beastmaster knows him. I mean, it's not like AA, but you don't have the free kill on like a Inflict Dagger from the EA or someone. You see, immediately they see iNSaNiA, and they just retreat the boars, and they continue to harass the slot. And Era is always keeping himself between the boars and iNSaNiA, so he can always threaten this kill, which I like. I think they're playing this right.
Of course, the drawback for this is then you don't have a lot of that magic damage just for the chemical harass to allow pick up a kill, right? Like you're not going to be seeing the combo too much on the Beastmaster. One, because he's super tanky, especially going to the ground first, but you might have a...
I hope he's gonna die block. I don't think he was expecting the time block. Yeah, that deserves some laughter. I don't know what else you do. Like, that time block just killed him, really.
Is there a Dom creep that you think is like really good this game for Xibbe? I know it's the build right now for Beastmaster, but I'm trying to think if there's like a one he would.
Awesome. Because you can just use the Centaur to get to the line, stun Oracle before you solve or something. What is Oracle gonna? Does Oracle have to care about the creep? No, it's tough, especially with a team fight being a mech. I think anything with a stun that can prevent Oracle is useful. Another option would be the. No joke, at least in the earlier, the mana burn creep has some utility. Mind stealer,
yeah, the Satyr Mind, just Flesh or Flare or something. I think Flare, I don't know. There you go, you can escape bottom again with the tether.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Yeah, so there's some use of that, especially against like a Slardar. Well, I mean, he has the IO, but you can actually take away some of the Oracle's mana. Usually they ignore that creep a lot. I think Centaurs.
Perhaps the Purge creep this game. What are we purging? I guess just Guardian Sprint, right? Not much else. You pick up a couple of kills.
Yeah, mate seated.
Yep, good point. Yep, completely dispellable. Yeah, okay. There's a couple of use cases here.
And Purifying Flames heal actually. Purge should work. So, how it goes. I think that's decent. I think you got a couple purges, but I do feel like it. And as a DC master, you want to run it. You don't have to run. You don't want to try playing 4D chess. Like, what's the best scrape? What's the optimal thing I can find that nobody's ever thought about? Get stunned. Get stunned.
Please bottom. Has the earned and no charges. Boxi needs to get in range of the
There's the
tether.
charge.
Taiga.
Radiant
So we've talked about it.
structures
Usually
are
the mid will
fortified.
try to gank top first. Try to gank the safe. But obviously here you have an Oracle spell, so there's no point to do that. You go for the bottom lane, get your earn charges. And then later on, if you see an opportunity top, go ahead and go for it. But ideally, just keep harassing bottom and make Smarter's game.
Top's really hard. I think we need like a Chrono on top, maybe even onto Oracle. Just let miCKe go. I think right now with Shadow Dance, he's a little bit unkillable. So I think we should look to boot him out from the lane, take his tower, and start to towards off the map. Actually, it's a good one. It's going to pick a kill onto qojqva.
Stop jungling, let's push.
Actually, great. Lina has this issue where you're really easy to kill early, and you can abuse it a bit with the Invoker. Tornado's easy to put her out of position. You have some decent stuns. And then his Chicken Fire starting to recover from an early game. That was just... It wasn't great for them, honestly. Despite the kills they got in the lanes, they still falter in terms of net worth. But with these kills, they're hopefully recovering, and they can take advantage of this early Beastmaster power spike. It's just difficult on the Slark. I guess you only have a small window opportunity before False Promise comes out, when Primal Roar might kill the Slark, but you have to bait at the Dark Pact first. So it's a really, really tough lane. You might want to rotate mid and get me.
He is going straight for this Helm first. Yeah, I mean, you can look to go mid. Yeah, you need the
I like this, by the way.
Okay, I like
this is the earn Midas as opposed to going for the Vessel, because there's too many dispels, no point in the Vessel. It does stop healing, but it's just not worth it for the gold, and you go Midas, and if you want Vessel later, it's an option. Right now, I just want to farm and get Cataclysm as soon as possible.
qojqva's ganking bottom. Unfortunately, there's no core here, just a wild Peksu here flying around trees, gathering whatever experience. Yeah, trying to get up 6. qojqva's going to go hunting. She's got Arctic Run ready to go. There's no LSA for 4 more seconds, but there is a Laguna Blade. Hey, that's enough damage.
Is under attack.
qojqva's why do I need to stun you?
Radiant's
I have
bottom
damage.
tower is
That
under
stun is
attack.
dead. Now you're stunned for 20 seconds. And then they go and kill and try to take the tower. I feel like Chicken Fighter should have been maybe rotating. I guess Beastmaster now has freedom to take the top tower, but he's being a bit slower. And Liquid, as they always do so well in the early game, they're proposing the tempo despite the fact that they really shouldn't watch doing so. And now they take a tower in return. You're too late to respond in Chicken Fighters. You don't have that. You haven't got any kills on it. Held up by Liquid. You can start opening up your map to get.
Oh, DD Rune. It's a nice one for
Dire's
qojqva.
top
A little bit low
tower
on the
is
mana
under
though, so he
attack.
might go home and regen, farm a little bit more. Yeah, he did not finish off BOTs. So we'll just pop it now and keep farming. Is there a
Dire's
stack for him? There isn't.
structures
But
are
whatever.
fortified.
Get farming with it, just stay out on the map and
is
regen
under
up a bit.
attack.
That's going to be BOTs finished up then. We almost have Midas finished, and real quick, Supreme's first point in Exort is going to be here at level 9. I believe
Dire's
usually
top
he just
tower
starts to
is
pile on the
falling.
points, now especially when he gets Midas, get XP's flowing on in.
Pretty good time for Midas, considering you got the Urn as well.
Radiant's
Well,
bottom tower is under
especially against
attack.
Lina, who's usually a pretty good. Xibbe managed to equalize the map control. He went for the Helper
Nice
Smasher
burn.
early. Best creep were actually pushing because of the attack speed aura. Like I said, it's just, you know, creeps go burr, right? You don't want to 4D chest yourself. Yeah, you might be able to get kills with the Centaur, but right now, just do what you need. Hopefully you can go mid and do the same. That's the... With that, you can take over the enemy jungle. And then as Radiant, you take over the superior part of the map. Sean control, the better jungle. You keep your triangle safe, even though it's not that great of a triangle compared to the Dyers. Liquid shouldn't be able to.
Midas, like you said, you're looking real strong. And yeah, Xibbe, you know, proving that if you lose to Chicken Fighters, they draft you for the team as in comes the Hellbear Smash. Well, who knows if they manage to get the victory over Liquid, they get a big old horse.
That's a good point. What did they get from Viking then?
Beastmaster? He's got a couple Viking skins, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Actually, they just Kezu. They just stop Kezu. Kezu's actually he's currently whispering in Xibbe's ear how to play the
Great.
He did go for the boost now with the helm and taking over the enemy jungle. It's something you can do even without taking the tower when you have a strong enough offlaner, much like Timber, right? You can actually play extra aggressive even if you don't have map control because you know you can beat
Dire's
Mono,
middle
mono.
tower is under attack.
Charlie was looking for the Chrono
Radiant
bottom on
structures
Boxi, but there was
are
a stupid wisp in the way. Sania's got level 6, he's positioned right behind, but a beautiful Chrono is just going to catch him. Kisses on top to secure the kill. Perfectly calculated here, and Sania does not even get a chance to catch the ultimate. Too much physical damage anyway. Taiga is going to be here to party, but unfortunately he is only going to fall to the deafening blast of
Dire's
Supream.
middle tower
I believe
is
this
under
tower
attack.
is going to be an extra bouncy on top. It's a double thumbs up from our Qualifiers.
They didn't see Oracle in that
Dire's
player, or did they
middle
see him
tower
beforehand
has
and
fallen.
guessed where he was going? That was an impressive Chrono.
Good point. That's a good question. I can only assume they saw him because I think the tornado maybe scouted him, but I could be wrong on that.
It is daytime, so they do have extended. I mean, that was
are scanning.
catching the Oracle.
Still a damn good Chrono
Dire's
regardless, for
structures
sure.
are fortified.
Yeah. If it was luck, you know, Xibbe got stuck in the Roche pit last time, so I think it's fine. Deserve a bit of one. Okay, we see Liquid response though. They need to go for a kill. I think it's the right. If you go for the Aya, you can't relocate with someone. But
Radiant
Boxi will
are
start a bit
scanning.
stronger, so this should be working. Xibbe, target. He has a Centaur already. He does get a stomp off. Oh, trying it. It's so difficult. The positioning by Liquid is good. However, Winter's Curse will try reset the fight now with a Dragon Slate. Takes down Xibbe before he can respond to it, so he can run away. iNSaNiA wants to kill the help of the Dominator team, and he will succeed with the help of the Lina, who actually gets the gold.
Really, they're still going for more. Actually, Peksu looks for trouble. Eats the Laguna Blade. Gonna heal himself back up. Boxi in a rough stomp, but he's got Taiga. miCKe now, who was stealing Ancients before. He's gonna go ahead and pick up that kill. More agility for me. Thank you very much. He's looking to get that Echo Saber already fetched from him. Warrior, nice plays from Liquid, recognizing that, hey, the only threat is going to be the curse. They dispatch him. Even going for Roach now. Love it.
Nice. That is good because, as you know, this game, you're not going to be able to contest the top control of the map, though they're doing it so something to do with the wards, right? But ideally, just take Roshan, get rid of this problem, and then even if Radiant wants to play the top ward, there's a benefit in that way. It's the biggest advantage Radiant has anyway, the Roshan control. Look, the Mortimer's gets from the triangle, too safe, but Liquid does have a ward there, so they could try to force a fight yet again. And with Slaughter, this Roshan, it doesn't take too long to kill it. Relocate? What is Io bringing back? Oh, it's Slaughter. Okay, that's... Okay. I want to join the fight. I don't have TP. Oh, did he come with smoke? Interesting
I
play.
think they need to get a fight first, because Chrono and Curse are all going to line up. We won't have kisses for another 80 seconds.
Oh, they saw the ward.
But we saw the Primal Lord that's getting used here. Tornado, there it is. Only going to catch one, but Boxi already out of position. miCKe up from the Shadow Dance, not finding any kills now. There's going to be a little bit of healing. Chronosphere is going to catch two. There's Taiga going to try and get the relocate out, but can't in time, as Slark is already a dead fish, and iNSaNiA is going to be next to drop. That just might be Chicken Fighters then taking the first Roach instead of Liquid.
He just used the relocate. They had him.
Oh, thank you.
That's why Charlie. By the way, commending Charlie yet again for these Chrono. My goodness, this one's good. He's always being. You think, why does he use the Chrono to choke point? It's because he's waiting for the Oracle. If you don't catch the Oracle in the Chrono, you got saved. That Chrono feels useless, especially with a double damage. But if you catch the Oracle, you're done. You can kill the Slug so easily. Charlie's performance in the Void for now has been really, really impressive. And I also like that they saw the ward from Liquid, and of course they knew they had to de-ward it, but they were prepared in case Liquid decided to go fight them there. They knew that Liquid would be desperate. It was the ward in the high ground. The ward in the ward spot in the truck. If Liquid wanted to go fight that because they knew they wanted to take advantage of that ward and the high ground advantage, they couldn't because Chicken Fighters was prepared. So they forced a desperate play from Liquid and punished it. That was really forward thinking. I like that by Chicken. They're playing a really
Absolutely. And it's these plays are going to get a bit scarier now. Maybe now, not by the next Chronosphere, but perhaps by the second to next Chronosphere. We may have Cataclysm ready to go with plenty of points in the Exort, because Invoker with the Midas is quickly accelerating his
Regeneration.
I mean, that Cataclysm is crucial, I'd say, to really take advantage of these Chronos. Then I think you lose the option of Slark saving you, and maybe even the False Promise might not. It might just be a
be close. It'll be difficult. Taiga now, Tyler to miCKe. He's going to be coupled with him. He looks to get a bit more farm around the map. It's the best way to utilize the Wisp, just constantly overcharging your allies to make sure the farm is empty. An's going to see one here, because they know that miCKe is not alone. They just don't know who he's with.
Taiga does see the creep. where he's like, alright, maybe Beastmaster's around, and maybe his creeps are on a mission to farm, but most likely
Radiant's
Beastmaster's
top
around.
tower is under attack.
And I also like that he used Dark Troll Summoner. He's like, well, I have a hero, the creep that can actually farm camps fastest, so I might as well use it for that. Find the center yet. Taking advantage of whatever creep you can find. Very adaptable. Sorry, FPS.
PS issues
A lot of
here.
FPS issues, huh? And these qualifiers in general. Spider Pix is having similar issues.
Yep. FPS, it's very difficult, man. It's you know 32.2 feet per second, natural acceleration, and you got to work in slugs. It's the whole thing. American system. But speaking of the system, qojqva is going to have a killing system set up here pretty quickly. Just finishing up the Yule Scepter now. I'd like to see a smoke play around this. Chronosphere is now coming off cooldown, so I think now you hold your horses, especially with Aegis ability on the Void. So get ready for a fight, and then if you can, you know, withstand them, go just about even. I think you're still pretty strong here on Liquid if you can get a couple of these ultis out.
Yeah, so right now the Liquid wants to fight around the cooldowns, right? But that's as long as the Chronos go, but with the Aegis you stop that from at least. So Chicken Fighters has a considerable advantage here. Slark is also not online, and it wasn't this panel that said it, but I remember, I think it was AUI just talking. Slark is okay recovery, it kind of farms, but it's nothing to Luna or any carry in the meta right now. So as you can see, despite Void being called a slow farmer, the Slark is not. I mean, he has Maelstrom, though, to be fair. He does have Maelstrom.
Yeah, he's got Maelstrom. So
I will give that little point to the Void still. The Slark should naturally have.
And speaking of farm, I do like that, of course, naturally on a Wisp, when you're just tethering people and following them around and giving them overcharge, you're not going to have a whole lot of farm for yourself. But I'd like that iNSaNiA is then stepping in here naturally and just picking up all the farm that's left over for him, right? He's going first for the Holy Lockets. I kind of would prefer to see maybe a Blink Dagger, because unlike unlike a Spectre game, right, when you're playing Oracle, if you stand further away from the Chrono, further away from this Invoker, further away from etc. XYZ, right, you will actually be able to blink back in and maybe get off a false promise. I think Holy Locket's great, and if there's someone who knows what to build on Oracle, it's definitely iNSaNiA, so I'm not questioning it, but I think I would definitely like to see
Radiant's
a Blink
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, there's a point to be made. Like, the Beastmaster is the only one that can truly cut.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Even with a creep, right?
Dire's structures are
so
fortified.
either Aetherlets or the Blink Dagger, even the Force Staff will help him in that.
Radiant's middle tower
But if you
is
sign
under
for the Holy
attack.
Locket, it might be that
Radiant
Force Staff
structures
is healing
are
and false promise.
fortified.
He might be looking at the Cataclysm and being like, I can't
Are
heal
scanning.
enough for that Cataclysm to not kill anyone, even if I have false promise. So all my efforts to survive will be useless because I can't
Dire's
kill him
top
back
tower
down.
is
So
under
maybe that's the
attack.
boost. Maybe he's trying to boost up the IO as well. Holy Locket's very broken with IO 15. We'll see. qojqva. Wrong position. They hit him with a cold snap. There's a healing to the spell. Tornado will stop him. Ice Wall on top of that, then there's the relocate. They hit him with the Primal Roar right as he got relocated. I think he should be fine with the Fountain healing. Yep. But I don't think Taiga will be in the same spot. And he tethered to anything though. Taiga, thank you for saving me. I'm gonna go farm. And good luck with it.
Yep, we'll use
you're
Primal
lying.
Roar. So it's not like a free kill there for Chicken Fighters, but all things considered, not too bad either, especially because they still can't fight. Level 1 False Promise, super long cooldown, great dispel there, coming through from iNSaNiA. As Boxi still needing to try and escape here. He's got to blink in a second. We will use that to go ahead and increase the gap, and off and away he goes. Pretty key there, because of course there's no save for him anymore, now that Wisp has both
Dire's
used Relocate
middle tower
and
is
that
under
Oracle has
attack.
used False Promise. It's a really spooky time right now for Liquid if they wanted to, say, for example, defend a tier 2 tower when Charlie still has Chronosphere and Aegis.
Radiant's bottom
They can
tower
delay this
is
on
under
Boxi.
attack.
And you got the spell here. They do have Chrono, but without the oh, okay. You don't got the false promise, that's why you don't need to catch him in the promise. That's true. You did not save for the healing together there. Taiga might still be in trouble as well. Mortimer's just coming out. They actually used the Winter's Curse just to try to punish Taiga. Boxi did fight back though. And now it's time for them to re-engage. There's no Chrono. They do get a nice Fortune's End, but miCKe has been stunned. They're trying to finish off Charlie, but the Fate Stick actually saved him for the Laguna Blade damage there. So Charlie's gonna be fine. He's going for qojqva next. They've killed Supream, fixed the Golden Break, and now Boxi might actually be forced to die back. That is not what Liquid was expecting to do. Chicken Fighters turned this supposed counter initiation into just more kills for them.
Yeah, man, what did I say? Again, without relocating, without false promise, you're free to just play whatever kind of Faceless Void game you want. And he woke up today and he chose violence, killing Boxi twice. That's the move to make. And guess what? You still don't have anything to stop him getting off your Taiga. All 5 heroes fully healed. Once the Laguna Blade was out, Peksu could just freely throw down the heal on the Supream to keep him alive. And the Slark just immediately had attacked off. That's good damage here on the Charlie. Oh, but they force iNSaNiA forward, root him down, hit him with the cookie. Down he goes yet again. We've at least cut the waves here, but the mid lane barracks have gone down. And I mean, all Liquid had to do was just give up a tier 2 tower. They take one fight, and look how much they lost. It's so punishing here. Great job by Chicken Fighters to recognize this.
Chicken Fighters doing a really solid job of maintaining the lead into this game, not letting Liquid really get ahead, which nullifies kind of the Slark pick in general. I like this. I think Chicken Fighters playing a very solid game with not many mistakes really. And I don't think that's giving Liquid any opportunity to go and engage. Their initiation is decent, but it's much harder to initiate with a starter than it is with simply a Primal Roar. Even if you have to catch the Oracle. And all these execution things we talked about from Chicken Fighters, they're doing them perfectly. They're catching the Oracle in every one of these Chronos, or they're messing up his false promise beforehand. They're not letting the IO relocate anyone to save him. It's very, very available.
Great. I think you can tell they're quite used to playing with the Faceless Void. There is a lot of counter synergy in this draft with Peksu having Winter's Curse, which could absolutely ruin a Chronosphere or a Cataclysm or both. But for now, the way I see Peksu playing this game, he's very much the healer. He's here to try and save the ulti if they need it in a team fight to turn it around for like a reset, or he's going to try and save his ulti to try and dissuade Liquid from fighting if they use Chronosphere and Liquid respawn fast enough to break the fight before the second Chrono is up. That's their concern, I think, and he's playing excellent with this. Oh, iNSaNiA, he's been found, doesn't have a 4-staff here, going to try and get himself to safety, up onto the high ground. Boxi goes dagger available in 4 more seconds. Oh, the aggressive time walk is not going to give him a bash, and in fact, out comes the Chronosphere. His is now raining down, but there's no relocate either. iNSaNiA's going to buy back just to be able to get back Boxi here, because another death on him would be really putting him beyond the able. Supream actually wanted to go forward, they even 4-staffed him off Bavo. Now, as iNSaNiA is going to find himself in a bit of a difficult position, he's going to keep himself nice and healthy with the fake edict. Up towards high ground, go Chicken Fighters.
Chicken Fighters now between Go and Liquid wanting to get some counter kills. Just the Golden Blade same for the physical damage, but they might be able to go to the supports anyway. Oh, I'm on board with the Cataclysm. Gonna burst out the Lina, trying their best. The healer's gonna keep qojqva alive. Charlie now fighting against qojqva. Nice light strike array. They need a bit more physical damage. That swing back will actually do the trick right as miCKe ends. And they caught the Oracle as well. iNSaNiA is not gonna survive. miCKe trying to dispense with the Shadow Dance, but he just doesn't have the damage. Winter's Curse even stopped Boxi from trying to flank him, and Boxi is going to fall together with miCKe, who's not capable of getting out. Oh, could be relocate last second. I spoke too soon.
Spoke just a bit too soon, but still a huge win for Chicken Fighters. Boxi kind of getting kited around the fight, wants to keep Peksu out of this fight, like real back, for good reason. Unfortunately, he gets kind of kited around the cliff, and the rest of his team just falls right around him, and here's the relocate back, as they're going straight for Taiga. Now miCKe is super easy to kill, has no Shadow Dance, and got the Dark Pact in a second, but is not going to be able to get it off. All 5 heroes dead. Chicken Fighters still in the base. This time, it only takes a 5th of the duration as game number 1, and Chicken Fighters out for blood will close out game number 2.
If you still average both matches, you can average a 60-minute game, right? So I think it's still fine. But Chicken Fighters, what a dominant performance, honestly. What else is there to say?